Now, White Pine County Daily News with Wyatt Cox.
And on this Wednesday morning, KELY News is sponsored by Sahara Motors, the Kawasaki KX450, built out of the box with everything you need to dominate the track. Check it out today at Sahara Motors and let the good times roll. Another record high temperature yesterday. Ely surpassed the 1908 record of 72 by climbing to 80 degrees. Look for another record-breaking temperature today, the high around 81 that should shatter the 2022 record of 74 degrees. Eyes on the historic courthouse this morning as the White Pine County Commission convenes for another high-stakes session. Topping the 9 a.m. agenda is a showdown over regional water security. Commissioners weighing a formal legal challenge against the Pine Water Valley Supply Project. The board will consider joining an administrative appeal to block the Utah-based pipeline, which local officials feel will siphon shared groundwater from the West Desert and threaten Nevada's long-term supply. Energy infrastructure also takes center stage. NB Energy is set to provide a critical update on the Greenlink North Transmission Project, the multi-billion-dollar energy superhighway moving through a pivotal federal review phase, with public comment windows expected to open as early as this month. Other local developments on today's agenda include golf course leadership. They'll interview finalists for the golf course director position with a potential job offer and salary approval expected by day's end. Decisions pending on a new agreement for the 7th Judicial District Court and potential staffing boost for the county finance department. New members may be tapped for the local emergency planning committee, and the board will vote on sending a local delegation to the Nevada State Fair this June. You can follow the proceedings live beginning at 9 a.m. here on KELY. White Pine County deputies on alert following a string of felony arrests and school ground incidents on Monday. 20-year-old Randy D. Mullins Jr. of Ely behind bars, charged with intimidating a witness and violating a protection order. Gerardo Lozos also held on a $50,000 warrant for the sale of a controlled substance. In schools, one physical altercation between students kicked to juvenile probation. Deputies assisting another family with a protection order following reports of bullying. Finally, the sheriff's office issuing a fraud alert. If you get a call claiming you missed jury duty and owe a fine, hang up. It's a scam. Other calls range from a well pump vandalism to a city resident who had to be rescued after locking themselves in their own backyard during a home inspection. City leaders head to the Volunteer Fire Hall on Thursday at 5 for an Ely City Council session heavy on public safety and local licensing. Public safety dominating the docket as the council weighs a critical 3-year police protection agreement with White Pine County. The move aims to solidify law enforcement coverage for the city residents through 2029. On the judicial front, officials set to appoint substitute municipal judge, finalize pay for pro tem judges, and launch a search for a new conflict prosecutor. The meeting will also pivot to local business oversight. Liquor Board will convene to vote on a Class 4 license for the Music Box Bar on Altman. Gaming Board will review licensing for the William Hill Race and Sportsbook. Looking toward the downtown landscape, the Tree Board is proposing updates to the city's street tree plan. The council also expected to officially proclaim May 7th as Arbor Day, signaling a community-wide planting event. We told you earlier this week about Lake Tahoe-based Liberty Utilities, who are facing a crunch to replace about 75% of its power supply, as NB Energy has told the tiny provider that growing demand from data centers leave it unable to sell them energy. We asked Mount Wheeler Power if White Pine County could face a similar situation. Communications specialist Christine Sawyer told us they were watching the situation. They said customers are not at risk. A spokesperson says the cooperative's power supply is secured through long-standing ownership and partnerships, including its relationship with Deseret Power. The utility had similar challenges in the 1970s led to those partnerships, which now provide greater stability and control. Mount Wheeler Power says it remains confident to continue delivering reliable and affordable energy to its members. Nevada Congressman Mark Amodei pushing a new tariff aimed at boosting domestic sheep producers. In an interview with Minnie Racker of the Nevada Independent, Amodei said his bill would raise tariffs on lamb imports from Australia and New Zealand to 30%, up from the current 10% rate set under President Trump. Amodei says the goal is to protect a struggling U.S. sheep industry, which he says has sharply declined over time. He also confirmed he's been in contact with federal officials, including the Commerce Department, and expects to discuss the proposal further in coming weeks. The bill's still awaiting a hearing in Congress. Nevada drivers can now show their support for agriculture with a newly redesigned specialty license plate. The updated Ag Plate, a partnership between the Nevada Department of Agriculture and the Nevada Department of Motor Vehicles, featuring images of mountain ranges, crops, and ranching. State Agriculture Director J.J. Gokachia says the new design highlights Nevada's agriculture roots while supporting future generations. Proceeds from the plates will fund agriculture education and workforce programs, including the National FFA organization. The plate's now available through the DMV. A repeat offender at the center of a dispute between police and the courts back in custody in Las Vegas. Joshua Sanchez Lopez appeared in Las Vegas Justice Court yesterday after missing 2 previous hearings. He faces more than 24 charges tied to his latest arrest, accused of stealing mail from an apartment complex. Co-defendant Caitlin McSweeney faces similar charges. Earlier this year, a judge released Sanchez Lopez on electronic monitoring, overruling concerns from Sheriff Kevin McCahill with the Las Vegas Metro that he posed a danger. He was arrested again last week, his 36th arrest, and has a lengthy criminal history, including multiple felony convictions. Sanchez Lopez scheduled to return to court April 6th for a preliminary hearing. And for Sahara Motors, that's your report of news from White Pine County and the state of Nevada.
You see lots of commercials on television telling you to drive a little and save a lot. Dealers wanting you to drive to Salt Lake, Elko, Reno, and even Las Vegas. But ask them one question. What happens if there's a problem? Do you have to drive 3, 4, or even 6 hours to get service? Here at Sahara Motors in Ely, we service everything we sell right here in White Pine County. Shop here first, get our best deal, and you get that best deal by telling Shauna that Wyatt sent you by. Then if you want, shop other places. When you account for the drive, you'll find that it pays you to be a part of the Sahara Motors family. Stop by Sahara Motors, just about a mile north of Ely on US 93. Sahara Motors, we are White Pine proud.
Tell Shauna Wyatt sent you by.